Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of Options Talk. This week there is a slight difference because Raghunath is busy somewhere else this weekend and he can't join me. But I'm not alone and I have Prashant Shah with me on the other side and he'll also be talking about some charts. Of course, today we won't be talking anything about Greeks. It will be only charts and charts. I'll be talking about options charts and Prashant will be talking about charts of the underlying and his view on Nifty. And we have selected a few stocks to talk about and what can happen and what are the levels one must observe for the next week. So coming back straight to the charts, something interesting which I have seen over the last 2 weeks, I have shown in the last couple of editions of Options Talk the Bank Nifty ratio chart. This is extremely bullish. In fact, I remember I had talked about it over here when this was near 1950, and now this has gone almost towards 21, has crossed 2100. This ratio. So definitely the trend is still bullish on this ratio chart. So no doubt that Bank Nifty has been outperforming Nifty. But now you'll always blame me to talk when I talk about some caution ahead, because that is what I have to see based on the charts on a historical basis. This is the candlestick chart of Bank Nifty on a weekly chart. Now you'll see the red line, which is the 200 weekly EMA, and that is at 24,516, and Bank Nifty has closed at 24,523. So this is a resistance. If it trades comfortably and consistently above 24,600, then the next resistance is almost another 800 points higher, which is 25,400. Now, why is this important? This is the chart of Nifty. Nifty in the month of March had broken the 200 weekly moving average. That time it was near 10,300, went all the way to 7,511. And when it went back to the 200 weekly moving average for the first time near 10,320, 330, you can see this red candle which I'm showing on the cursor here. It got sold off from that level by almost 800 points. I'm not saying it will, Bank Nifty also will behave the same way, but this is a point where one needs to be cautious when long. So Nifty had gone down from 10,326 all the way down to 9,544 in 1 week. That was in June, 12th June, 2 months back. So be cautious in your longs in banks, especially if Bank Nifty starts trading below 24,400, because 24,523 is these are all spot levels. 24,523 is the 200 weekly moving average. Of course, if it is consistently above 24,600, then it is definitely bullish, and the next level of resistance will be 25,400, which is 800 points higher. Another reason for my caution is the put call ratio of the weekly Bank Nifty options. Now here I plotted the put call ratio of 24,400, 24,500, 600 and 700. You'll see here the highest is naturally the lowest strike price, which is 24,400. It is slightly in the money, but that is also only 1.29. You can see the put call ratios on the left side. 1.29 is bullish, but it is slightly, on the borderline. But what happens to the other put call ratios? 24,500 is only 0.53. 24,600 is 0.29 and 700 is only 0.12. And these, as everyone knows, the 100 points is nothing in Bank Nifty. But if this put call ratio remains like this after Monday opening, then again that means some caution in Bank Nifty longs. But at the same time, if put writing is good in the first opening 1 hour of bank on Monday, then this put call ratio will definitely improve. And then that can be also bullish. At the same time, the Bank Nifty level also has to be kept in mind. Now, the next caution, everyone knows what happened to that 11,300 call, which I had been posting. I talked about it here as well as on Twitter. That huge level of 230 and 100, which proved as a resistance and support. So this is the monthly 11,600 call, which is slightly in the money. Now here on the left hand side, you will see there is a resistance near 266. And that was the high on Friday. So if this call trades consistently above 260, 270, then everything is clear for bulls. Of course, there is an anchor column on Friday, there is an anchor column on Thursday, so that these levels are definitely bullish, but it will be a bit, you need to be a bit cautious. If this does not cross 270, there can be a pullback. I'm not cautioning against some bearish activity because I'm just talking about a pullback, maybe 100, 150 points. I don't know. If this 270 is not crossed on the 11,600 call, there can be a pullback in Nifty. So both point towards resistance on the high side, Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. Now coming to, I have selected two stocks to talk about in this options stock. This is a chart of Reliance on a daily chart of 0.25%. You can see here it is taking support near the moving average. The double top buy level is 2138. So if any close above 2140 is definitely bullish. It will be a double top buy, and the lowest stop loss will be a bit far off, which is 20702080. But Reliance is definitely bullish. I mean, anyone can make out from this chart that it is bullish, but it needs a close above 2140. Now, what do the options suggest from Reliance? This is a 2140 put. Now, in options, stock options, there is not much of activity to start the expiry. So that's why instead of 3%, I select a 1% chart. Now, you'll see here there was a bearish anchor column on Friday. So as long as, and this is on the put. So as long as this high near 97 is not crossed, Reliance remains bullish. So that is one thing which, even if Reliance has not crossed 2140, but if the 2140 put does not go above 100, that is, in fact, there is a pattern retest here. That is also a caution. So definitely Reliance, this put has to go below 80 finally for Reliance to remain bullish. So basically crossing 2140 on cash and this put going below 80 is an extremely bullish sign on Reliance. Now coming to a call chart of Reliance, 2140 same, I am taking a at the money call. There is an anchor column from the bottom over here. So this is definitely bullish activity on the call. Again, this is a 3% chart. I'll make it a 1% chart. Now here the support is near 50. Now there is a big news about Reliance investing 24,000 crores or some kind of figure in Future Group. So there will be some action at opening, and then based on what happens after the first half an hour, if it breaks out above this level of 90 and that put goes below 80, then definitely Reliance is bullish. In case there is a small dip in Reliance, this call, the level of 50 is what needs to be washed out. So 98 on the higher side in the put and 50 on the lower side on the call. So these two levels, if you watch them together, this can give good trades coming in the coming week. The next chart is of Tata Steel, which has given a huge run in the last few weeks. But this is a 0.25% chart on a 1 minute on futures. You can see here it is approaching, it has faced resistance near 440, 445. And the action on Friday was not very bullish at all. So if this continues down, then Tata Steel can give a pullback. So again, when I say pullback, I'm not talking about any crash, but even a 3 to 5% pullback, which is healthy for the stock, can give good trades in options long also. So coming to Tata Steel put. So this is the 430 put. Now if I see it on a 3% chart, this has given a not exactly bullish yet. It is double top buy, but it needs to cross this high of 2122. And if that happens, then Tata Steel 430 put will give a good trade. It can go all the way up to at least this resistance near 30. And after that, one can trail it. It can cross also, because by that time, Tata Steel also would have broken the level which I showed here earlier. It would have gone below 420. So Tata Steel below 420 and that put above 20. These are two levels which can be looked at for trading in Tata Steel on the bearish side. Because right now on an intraday chart, Tata Steel is definitely not bullish. It will take some time for this bearish, not an anchor column, but it is a bearish column on Friday, the last column. So it will take some time. Maybe it is consolidating, but right now there is no bullish trade in Tata Steel. So one can look for a bearish trade. So these are the stocks from my side, and now I'm passing it on to Prashant, and he'll talk about his view on the index and some other stocks. Over to you, Prashant.
All right, thank you. Thanks, AP. Hello, everyone. So this time I'm talking in option stock because Raghunath is not available, so you'll be missing on the Greeks part. Yeah. So today I'll cover. I'll talk on the market phase of Nifty, Bank Nifty, and then I'll talk. I'll discuss some stocks, the underlying charts of some stocks, and then we'll discuss again with AP about their positioning on options charts and what are the possibilities of trading them. So when we design option strategies, I think there are broadly two paths: directional and non-directional strategies. So non-directional strategy is completely a different topic. But when we have to take a call on direction, uh, I think there are on a broad level there are three types of trends, or for the when we have to decide on the market phase. Uh, there is a trending market, or a consolidation, or volatile, right? So that we have to find evidences, we need to analyze charts, there could be indicators, and we have to decide on the phase of the instrument or overall market. So these are the phases, like trending market, sideways, and volatile, or technically we call it broadening or expanding market. In simple words, you know that when these kind of things happen, when you buy it goes down, when you sell it goes up. So those are the broadening type of phases. But this is not all. Apart from this, you also have volatility playing the role. So these are the phases, and they are different on a volatility level. That means you have a trending market which is volatile and which is not a volatile. You have a sideways market of different range. There's a narrow range, there's a wide range. Same way for volatile markets. They are very volatile, and there is also a range for volatility. So these are the two cycles which consistently plays role. Uh, there are markets which goes from trending mode to sideways to volatile, and there's a volatility which is playing role. And I think this happens on every instrument, on every time frame. It's inevitable. This happens. These are the cycles which plays a role, and we have to analyze market, and we have to see which is the phase or which is the current scenario, and accordingly we have to develop strategies. Right? We have to decide on the strategies. Even when there is a trending phase, uh, so if at all market is trending, then there are two paths. One is trending and less volatile. I mean, trend minus volatility. That's the sign of strong momentum. And at times there's an exhaustion. And to read all this, of course, we on charts we look for the evidences, we look for the signals, and we have to take a call on what is the current scenario and what are the possibilities, right? So this change in trend, because of this cycle, the trend changes. It can remain continue. We have to take that kind of a call. We can also design option strategies based on these phases. For example, there's a strong trending market. If it is an uptrend, we can design the strategies like writing calls and those kind of strategies. If it is strong downtrending market, then we can write calls and buy puts and all those things. If it is a sideways market, we can write straddles, strangles. So there could be option writing strategy. So we can take a call on the market phase and design the option strategies based on that. So that's the overall idea. Let's discuss what is happening currently. If I go to option chart, AP already discussed about Nifty Bank Nifty ratio and Bank Nifty levels on options. But this is a simple daily candlestick chart of Nifty. If I put RSI, which is a popular momentum indicator, it is right now at around 70, more than 70. So it is kind of bullish level, but there are possibilities of exhaustion. Though simply going above 70 doesn't mean exhaustion, but there are possibilities, and it is above 70 because the positive closes are significantly higher over last 14 period. Now let's see what is happening on a weekly chart. So weekly is currently around about 60. So around these levels, we saw it last time during Jan 2020, and then there was a fall, and of course this is a bounce. So kind of strong market. On a weekly chart, it is above 60. That means the over last few sessions, last 14 sessions, the positive closes are significantly higher. So this is what is happening on Nifty. If I apply some trend indicators, let me show it on the point and figure chart also. So this is Nifty on P&F chart. It is clear, strong uptrend, which we saw right when there was a breakout above 8800. The number of X are higher than the O's, and it is consistently trading above moving average. Technically, there are open mini bottoms, open bullish counts. So chart is completely bullish. Right now, the pattern is also bullish. There's a strong anchor column. I hope you guys know about anchor column, and the strong long column of X. It's a bullish anchor column. So we have 28 boxes in the current column, which got marked in the last week itself. There are open bullish counts, but I think we were almost around that. So this is a count cluster from 11,720 to 11,830. That's the open bullish count cluster. So trend is bullish, pattern is bullish, the momentum indicators are bullish. Now let's see what is happening on the. This is about Nifty chart. What is happening overall in Nifty stocks? Nifty is made of 50 stocks basically, right? We are studying the average. There could be heavyweights playing the role. We have to understand what is happening overall. So if I just apply the indicator, I selected a query that RSI is above 70. Now see, the reading is at around 22%. That means in Nifty 50 stocks, 22% stocks are trading above RSI 70. Now RSI 70 is kind of level which shows that there are stocks which are in strong momentum. From the stocks which are in uptrend, how many stocks are in strong momentum? So this reading is almost last time we saw it somewhere around September 2019. So it is at significantly high level. Whether it will play a role of resistance or it will continue, that we have to see. We have to discuss that. But overall, the market is very strong. There are many stocks which are in momentum. See, this is on a daily RSI. Let me just select RSI above 60 and change the time frame to weekly. So how many stocks are trading above 60 in Nifty on a weekly basis? There are about 44% stocks. And see, we saw it last time almost in, I think, August 2018. So right now, the number of stocks which are trading above 60 on weekly in Nifty weekly RSI. So weekly RSI trading above 60 means consistently there are many positive closes on a weekly basis in many stocks. So there is a good participation. Most of the stocks are in strong uptrend and momentum. So we are clear that the trend in Nifty is very strong in the average, and overall number of stocks which are participating are also high, and this overall scenario is bullish. Now, when market is bullish in uptrend, normally the strategy should be buying on the breakout, buying on the pullback. But then we also look for the evidences for exhaustion, because when it is going up, when there's a sign of resistance, we can apply caution and we can just book profits and wait for the pullback and things like that. So whether this band will act as a resistance is what we have to see, and AP has already discussed those levels. But one more thing, we discussed about trend. I explained in the slide that there are two things, trend and volatility. Now, when I apply volatility parameter, for example, ATR percentage. I always believe in ATR in percentage terms. When it is in percentage term, we can go back and compare that. So now if I apply it on a Nifty, see, ATR is consistently falling, right? I mean, in the strong trending market, the volatility is falling. It is not volatile. So the trend is higher than the volatility. That's an important thing. That this is a strong trending market. And your simple long only option strategies can also work when trend is higher than the volatility. Right. Now, if I have to see that on the number of stocks, how many stocks in Nifty 50 are trading above 3% ATR? So if you see, this is consistently falling. So the volatility overall is also falling. So this is another evidence. See, I always look at the breadth numbers. I think that's more dependable because you analyze the chart, which is average, that is fine. We can analyze the price chart also, but then we have to see what is happening overall in the universe. So these are the charts which shows the overall picture. Before I conclude this, there's one more breadth indicator which I consistently track, and I think it is very dependable. This is basically designed on the point and figure chart, but this is a swing based breadth indicator. So how many stocks are in uptrend on medium term basis, so short to medium term, how many stocks are in uptrend, or how many stocks are trading in the column of X in Nifty 50? And it is somewhere around 68%. Now roughly we when we track this, we say that 75 to 25 are the levels, are the extreme levels. So when it is between 75 and 25, it is in the neutral zone. When it is in a neutral zone, all the breakouts are dependable, we can trade them. And when it is in the extreme zone, that means there is an exhaustion and we have to be cautious. Because if so many stocks are already in uptrend, there could be, of course there's a strong momentum, there's a possibility of kind of consolidation or correction in the market. But right now it is somewhere around 68%, which is in the neutral zone. So there is still room for the upside. That's one. And second, why I call this a very dependable breadth indicator, particularly when I read momentum. See, in the entire rally, the stock, this breadth indicator has remained in the zone. It has remained in the neutral zone, which is not very common when we look at the breadth based on oscillators. And that is how this indicator can complement those momentum indicators. So right now it is in this neutral zone. That is the reason I am not feeling that it is at that kind of exhaustion level. But another thing here is there's a kind of triangular formation here. If I just overanalyze it, there's a triangle formation in the breadth. That means the number of stocks which are participating are somewhere around same level, around 50-60%, and there's a stock rotation which is happening in the index. One more breadth which can be very dependable is NSE all sectors breadth. Let me open that and let me also explain. So we have made a group of NSE all sectors, right? So how the sectors which are trading in the column of X. So right now 95% of sectors are trading in the column of X. This is another thing which we regularly track. That means most of the stocks are in uptrend, which is bullish, but they can't remain in uptrend forever. So we have to remain cautious around such levels. We look for the evidences whether there is a sign of exhaustion, and we can apply some caution. So right now it is at 95% level, which is kind of alarming sign. And interestingly, there's only one. There are 20 sectors. It is at 95% level. The one sector which is not in the column of X is pharma, which is actually in a strong medium-term uptrend. Now this also takes me to another interesting chart. let me open. Now, see, this is a matrix which shows, I'll calculate it on a medium term, which compares every sector with other sector. So each sector will be compared on the ratio chart with every other sector. And if the ratio is bullish, the score will be 1. If ratio is bearish, the score will be 0. And then this total column will show the number that if that particular sector is outperforming how many other sectors. So if I sort this, right now, private bank, Nifty Bank are outperforming almost every other sector on medium term. But now let me show the interesting picture. See, in the bottom line, the sectors which are underperforming right now are pharma, FMCG, IT, energy. Now, interestingly, all these sectors are in uptrend. If I look at the medium term charts, see, simply if I look at the pharma is in strong uptrend, basically. Currently, there's a correction. In FMCG, it is an uptrend overall. And IT, there's a strong anchor column, it is an uptrend. And energy, led by Reliance, there is an uptrend. So what is happening right now here is these sectors are bullish on the medium term. Right now, they are kind of underperforming. So when the sector is particularly bullish on the medium term, there will be phases in short term when they will underperform or there's a consolidation or correction. What should be our strategy during that period? That's interesting because then we have to see whether there's a long-term reversal in those sectors or it is a short-term correction and we should look for the pullback opportunities, right? So if I look at the current picture, there is no evidence of long-term reversal. So if at all Nifty performs and if at all Nifty continues to remain strong, then there is a possibility that this sectors can bounce back because that rotation will keep on happening. Something which is bullish on the medium term, there will be a short-term correction and that rotation will happen and these sectors can bounce back. So we should of course look for the opportunity if Nifty continues to remain strong and if there is a pullback opportunities in one of these sectors or the stocks of these sectors. So this is about breadth RS and overall study of Nifty and its sectors. So basically when we talk about the phase, right now there's a strong trend and the volatility is still falling. But as I showed that there's a cycle of volatility and change of trend. So will volatility increase and there's a possibility that trend can remain strong, volatility can increase because it has been consistently falling. And that is what we have to consistently look for because the number of candles also, if you see over last several days, they are reducing, the size is reducing. There are a lot of stocks which are in the column squeeze. If I talk it on the point and figure chart or the Renko chart, the swings are off late in few stocks are within the earlier swing. So there are we call it like in the candlestick chart, there's an inside candle or the inside bar. In the point and figure, we call it inside column or which is actually inside swing. So the current swing is within the previous swing. That's a sign of kind of consolidation. So the volatility is falling. A lot of stocks are in squeeze mode, and we have to track whether if that goes up. Another thing is price charts are kind of showing signs of exhaustion because RSI is in the extreme zone. Of course, that alone is not the sign of exhaustion, but it is getting into that mode of extreme zone. One more thing is mid caps are performing. The small and mid caps are performing over last several weeks. If you will see that they are consistently performing. If I'll quickly show, so this is Nifty 500 versus Nifty 50. You can see this strong anchor column, which is the number of days are 30 in this entire column of X. So over last 30 days, Nifty 500 stocks are Nifty 500 index is outperforming Nifty 50. That means Nifty 450, 500 minus 50 are doing good, or they are outperforming basically. So the ratio is bullish and strong. There are multiple bottoms, and if I look at this as a overall chart and the overall phase, it looks like there is a strong accumulation phase. Of course, we have to see whether we will get the follow through, but it is at the previous high, and there has been a strong anchor column which is 100% pole also, and there is a kind of 45-degree trend line resistance. Of course, it can break out, or it can continue to move up. But if this ratio has to reverse, in that case, 450 stock, there will be some consolidation or correction in this in the mid cap and small cap. That's a possibility. And in that case, the Nifty can perhaps slightly outperform if this ratio has to reverse. So there's a possibility that there will be a correction on a broad level if this ratio has to reverse. This is overall about the market, and another parameter is NSE all sectors is at the extreme zone. So strong trend, less volatile, but we have to keep whether volatility kicks in and if this exhaustion these resistances can play a role. AP has already discussed about the levels in Nifty and Bank Nifty. So let's discuss few charts which are liquid in option segment. So I have picked 3 or 4 charts from that list, and I'll just show the phase in the underlying chart, what is happening in those stocks, and then we will discuss them on the options chart with AP. The first is see, Axis Bank. We have already discussed the levels of Bank Nifty. So I mean, the same thing can be applied here also. But Axis Bank is one of the stocks in private bank segment. Of late, the entire sector, or all the private bank stocks are doing good. There's a squeeze breakout. Axis Bank, SBI, Kotak Bank, ICICI Bank. So all these stocks are doing good. And right now, what is the phase? If you see, last column is anchor column, almost 62 boxes in that column since last 7-8 days. So strong trend, breakout, squeeze breakout, but possibility of kind of exhaustion, because typically when we see that kind of long column of X, we will feel that, okay, I have to wait for the correction. It can correct from here. Now what happens is, at times, the stocks continues to move up in that column. Let me show an example. Divis Lab. See what happened here in that stock. Over 14 days, the number of boxes are 115. So if you continue to wait, then at times what happens is the stock continues to go up, and you don't even get opportunity of a small column reversal. So during such times, what is important is the 2 things. One, whether the overall sector is doing good, and whether the stock is the outperformer of that sector. If that is the case, then you should just wait for the opportunity of pullback and get into it. Or you can design some options, option strategy which is relatively safe, and we should find evidences on the options chart for trading them. Next stock is L&T. Now see, L&T is another candidate of squeeze breakout, or there was a strong consolidation and a breakout. I call this ABC. There's a after strong trend, there's a consolidation and the breakout. Now, right now, what is happening is, after the breakout, there was a sharp correction, and now there is a kind of pullback. So if there is a possibility that I'll buy here with the stop loss below this, so we'll see what are the possibilities, or what are the signals on the options chart for this. So this is the candidate for pullback. Same thing for candidate Lupin. See, it is in a strong uptrend right now. There are a strong bullish column of X in the middle that you can see, and there was a breakout, sharp retracement. now pull back. Since this is an uptrend, can I buy here with the stop loss below this? So right now it is trading somewhere around 980, and stop loss will be 965 or 968 to keep it safe.
Just
So
one strange observation, Prashant.
yeah,
Both L&T and Lupin charts are almost identical, and not only charts, even the levels are identical. The stop loss is 965, and they are in the column of X and a big column of O.
right, right, right. I did not notice that actually. Yeah, so that's true. So all right, I'll show a couple of more charts and then we'll discuss that on your options charts, right?
Yeah.
Others are ONGC. Right now, there's a strong consolidation. It is moving in a range. There's a column. See, relatively, the columns are less and it is in a range. So this candidate is from the category of consolidation or sideways market. In the same category, one more stock is HDFC. Now, this is kind of interesting. See, this is again moving in this particular range, but if I just apply the 45-degree trend lines currently at play, so it is tight in a tight range, and we don't know whether it will break out or whether it will be above this 45-degree trend line. That we have to see. But if I overall apply counts and other tools, then there are bullish counts which are open. And overall chart is bullish because it is trading above 45-degree trend line. It is the bullish counts are open, and overall it is out of that accumulation phase, but still it in a range. Whether there will be whether it will remain in that range for some more time or whether it will break out, that we have to see on the options chart. What do we find there? And the last is Titan. Now, Titan is something which I'm looking at. This is ABC kind of formation. This is a very tight, and there is a column squeeze. The number of boxes in the recent columns are they are low comparatively. So there is a tight consolidation after the strong trend. And the breakout level is somewhere around 1140. The close above 1140 is bullish. So we can discuss these instruments on the options chart. So should I give you the screen and we can see that on your screen and discuss them?
Yeah, I'll open my charts. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you missed Bharati. So should I cover Bharati now?
Oh yeah, I missed Bharati. Yes, yes.
Okay. So in what I'll do is I'll okay. Let me open the Bharati underlying chart first. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, you can comment on this.
So see, this was a breakout level of ABC of a strong trend and consolidation, and right now we are looking at a low pole, which is a strong bounce from those levels. We call it principle of polarity, stock taking support at previous resistance. Right. So that is what is happening right now in Bharati, and 510 or 15 are looking strong support levels if I apply that theory. So let's see how they are looking at on the options chart.
Okay, on the options charts, if I look at the Bharati 520 put, which is sort of at the money, right now it is under consolidation on a 1% chart. If I look at the 3% chart, there is again consolidation because here you have a bullish anchor column, then a bearish anchor column. So if this 520 put starts trading below 18, that is quite bullish for the stock. On the other hand, if I look at the 520 call on a 3% chart, here again there is a bear trap at the low, and on a 3% chart there is a double top buy. But since there are a number of columns are less, let me go to the 1% chart. So you can say that if the put breaks 20, 18 in the previous chart, and if this goes above 30, that means Bharati will become bullish. So these are the two levels on the call and put which need to be seen.
Yeah.
And you were
So on the
talking about
520,
Lupin.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
So this is
it is a
520
call
call.
chart.
We can see that pattern retest at the bottom, right? So we can consider that as a strong support level.
Yeah, 20 will be a strong support for the call.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think even in Bharati, if I'm not wrong, the 200-day moving average is also somewhere near the low, recent low near 510. So apart from the polarity principle, even that is a strong support. So one should look for more long trades in Bharati than short trades at this moment, as long as it is above 510, 515.
Right.
So coming to Lupin, this is the Lupin 980 call on a 1% chart. See, point is, since this is the beginning of expiry, we don't have too much of history on the stock options over the last few weeks. So that's why it's better to. Here again, you'll see bullish columns, even on a 3% chart. So right
Yeah.
now, the support is near 40. This is a 980 call near 40. And even if it breaks that, the final support will be near 36, 38 on the lower side. And so that I think should match with the stop loss on the cash, which is near 965 or so 965, 970. So that level on the cash and this level of support of 35 to 40 on the call, this
Yeah.
can act as a good level to consider going long and looping. At the same time, if I look at the put chart, there is a strong bearish anchor column on the left. You can see all the way from 60 to 40 over here, and it is completely trading inside that for the last 3-4 days. So if that put breaks 40, which is the low of this bearish anchor column, that again proves that Lupin will be a bullish trade going forward. Then coming to L&T, so looking at the same 980 call,
Right.
here you'll see on the lower side there is a bullish anchor column from 22 to 43 on the left. This is a 1% chart. So on a 3% chart, you'll see a better view of the bullish anchor column. In fact, there was a triple top buy and there's another anchor column. So as long as the lows on the left hand side, which is here, which is about 22, 23, and again the same level of 965, 970, which was the stop loss on Larsen cash. If that is held, this can be a bullish trade.
Just
And on the put chart,
yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
One more thing. Have you noticed ever? See, you can see this kind of strong anchor column in what you can see in L&T, the first anchor column, the strong. If stock remains above the bottom of that anchor column,
Correct.
overall, does that act as a good support or resistance? See, why I'm asking you is logically on the options chart on the premium. There are two factors which plays a role. One is price correction, and there's a time decay as well. So if stock is maintaining the bottom of that anchor column, and then we see some bullish pattern or something like that, and that along with the overall underlying chart. So there are different phases like we discussed. There could be a strong uptrend and there was a pullback opportunity. So logically, if there's a pullback opportunity in underlying, and if you see this kind of formation on the options chart, it could be a good opportunity. What do you think?
Absolutely. In fact, I have been looking at this. I call them the series highs and lows, because this is the September 24th September series for Lupin call. So the series low is near. If you see the lowest, this is around 22, 23. So that low on the 980 call, that will act very strong as a strong support. In fact, I remember in the last option stock, not only last couple of them, I had talked about a level of 100 on the 11,300 call, and that was not broken, and then it went all the way to 300. So that kind of series low support is very important on option charts as well. So that's why I'm always talking about which levels to look for. So if you look at the L&T 980 put, so here again there was a bearish anchor column at the low when that call made a bullish anchor column naturally, because when the call makes a bullish anchor column, the put makes a bearish. So if L&T starts trading higher and this put goes below 20, this is a 980 put. So that bullish anchor column and this bearish anchor column, these can act as two big levels on the options call and put. and one can make buying levels. Identify the buying levels for the stock, or you can trade the option itself. So this is how
Right.
normally I do it. So the pattern itself plays a role. At the same time, what is the support and resistance? So if there is a bullish uh, formation near the
Hmm.
support. So in
Hmm.
fact, right now on Friday there was a bullish action right at the open, but there was no follow through, and then the stock came down. But this
Hmm.
bullish action has actually started on Thursday, if you see here, which is near
Hmm.
30. So if it comes
Hmm.
back to 30 or maybe 25 with a stop loss of 20, this can be a good trade going forward
Hmm.
in L&T.
And there is also a
And
possibility at
similar,
times that, yeah, sorry.
yeah,
There
you
is
go
also
ahead.
a possibility that the stock will fall below bullish anchor column in call chart, but it will not go above the bearish anchor column in the put chart.
Yes, definitely, because that means it is only sideways, and that is the
Yeah.
time when you can get a good trade in a straddle or a strangle. So as long as the call is not very bullish or the put is not very bullish, one can look for straddles and strangles to play trade for those couple of days kind of levels. And only when the call or put breaks out, then you can
Yeah.
come out of the straddle and go direction. So if finally when this breaks 20, see the what I
Yeah.
look at is not only why I look at the options levels is one is
Yeah.
the put writing is the support creates the support on the stock level. So which we
Right.
saw is 965, 970 on the stock. So as long as
Correct.
there is put writing happening and this put
Hmm.
keeps going down, that means there is
Hmm.
support. But for the stock to start rising, the call has to start rising. So till
Correct.
that doesn't happen, there is a support and stock is sideways. That is what it means.
Correct.
Okay. So coming to the next one is ONGC. Now,
Hmm.
why I am talking about ONGC is one is you mentioned that it is going sideways, but
Hmm.
sort of a squeeze might happen.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
here there's something interesting. I think ONGC results are on 1st of September, if I'm not wrong, very near.
Okay.
So that it
Okay.
can be a very big move now, and it can break out of the consolidation. And that's
Yeah.
why here these are the 80, the put chart of the 80 put. So here there was a bearish anchor column, which is bullish for the stock.
Hmm.
This is the 80 put. So as long as this ONGC 80 put is below 4.5, this high, that is bullish for ONGC. And on the call chart, again this is sideways, but you will see a bearish anchor column on the left hand side, which is bullish for the stock. And that bearish anchor column, which is the low is near 4, once that breaks, that means ONGC will break out. And
Okay.
this 80 call, there is a bullish anchor column on Friday morning, which though the stock came down, that level has not been broken, which is near 4 again. So
Okay.
basically 4 and 5, 4 to 5 are the levels of the call for a breakout support, and for the put, it should not go above 4.5 for the call to take support. So these are the two levels I'll be
Right.
watching next week,
Right.
because since results are there, these play a very important role.
This is also pattern retest.
Yes, this is also a pattern it is.
Yeah.
And one last talk, you also spoke about HDFC.
Hmm.
Now, HDFC 1900 call, which is slightly out of the money, but almost in the money. This is a bullish chart. You can see a bullish anchor column on Thursday, but this is approaching like we talked about series lows. Here I'm talking about the series highs. On the left hand side, you will see the high, which is near 68.70 on the 1900 call. And on Friday, it made a high near 66.67. So that 68 to 70 can act as a resistance. Very rarely I have seen that they get crossed in the first attempt. Very rarely.
Okay. Okay.
So that also gets confirmed by that triangle which you showed on the underlying chart.
Correct.
And if I look at the HDFC put 1850, this is definitely bearish. So there is nothing bearish about HDFC, but it
Hmm.
can trade in that range which you showed on the underlying chart, and then you can look at shorting
Hmm.
strangles. If that call is not crossing 70, then you
Hmm.
can look at a strangle of maybe slightly above 1900 and below 1840 kind of strangle. That can give a good trade, because HDFC might remain in this triangle formation for some time.
Hmm.
Now coming to the last one which we discussed was Titan. This is another interesting chart. Though Titan is very bullish, the call chart is not showing anything. This is the 3% chart. Yes, there is
Right.
a bullish anchor column on the left hand side, which is from all the way from 34 to 50. But after
Hmm.
that, for the next 3 4 days, it has not done anything.
Yeah.
And on the 1% chart also it is the same. But the put charts shows something different. This has given a triple top buy on a 3% chart, which is a 1120 put.
Yeah.
Which if the low, which is below 25, is not broken, that means Titan can pull back.
Okay.
And on a 1% chart, here again, if Titan 1120 put does not go below 25, look for a bearish trade. When I say bearish trade, it can be just an intraday trade. I'm not talking about a positional. This can be a maybe 2 to 3%. Of course, Titan is a high beta stock, so it can do
Yeah.
even 3 to 4%. So based on these levels, this indicates that Titan is likely to give a pullback. I'm not. Let me open the underlying chart just to see the levels which you.
That was 1140. The close above 1140 will be bullish.
Okay. Close above 1140.
Yeah.
So maybe that is not likely to happen, and this triangle formation might extend for some more time, or who knows, it might come down and take support near the moving average. That is also possible.
Yeah.
Because you can see
Possibility.
a similar formation here. If you see this
Yeah.
formation,
Yeah.
so maybe something like that might happen. So
And
Titan is going to be an interesting stock.
what if it closes above 1140? That picture in put chart will change, right?
Okay, let me show the call chart. If it
Thoda
closes
level.
above 1140, yeah, then this 1140 call will give a breakout above 50.
Correct. That will be above 50.
45.
Why I particularly
Yeah,
asked this
above
question
45.
is because whenever I have seen, that there was a strong anchor column in that underlying chart, right? And the number of
Yes.
the size of number of columns after that, that is a particular formation of strong anchor column followed by squeeze in the swing. And
Right.
whenever I've seen this kind of formation, the breakout is typically very interesting. It is kind of explosive, and there will be a very good opportunity for short-term trade. So we can keep those levels in mind, like call going above
1140 call above 45.
1140 call. Yeah, that will be a good kind of evidence.
Yeah. And at the same time, the put, the 1120 put which I showed, let me just show that level once on a 3% chart. So this bearish anchor column might continue, and if it goes below 25, this is a 1120 put. So 1140 put, 1140 call going above 45, and 1120 going below 25. These are two levels to note, keep in mind for a bullish trade on Titan.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think we are coming to the close because it's already almost 1 hour now, and this was a long session, and I think we discussed so many charts. I think 10 stocks, which is maybe a record for an options stock on a weekend.
Yeah. So
that's all from our side, and anything from your side?
No, I think that is all. And sorry everyone for the kind of long sessions, but hope you found it interesting. And the idea was to discuss the setups on the underlying chart and then read them on the options chart and design the strategies and look for the levels and all those things. So hope you guys found it interesting. That's all from our side. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.